Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited about this video because I had heard so many mixed reviews about this book and I was very nervous to start it. I was very apprehensive. I bought it like a really long time ago and just never read it because I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like it or not. And originally when I bought it, I only had the first book, and then eventually I bought the rest of the series because I was like, I need to just have the whole series so that way I start reading it. And I decided to start the Cruel Prince trilogy. And here's the thing, I've already read book one. I didn't want to film my reactions and stuff because I was like, what if I don't finish reading it? What if I don't like it? And I didn't want to like waste time doing that if I didn't even like this book. But I fell in love with this book. This is the first book I've ever read by Holly Black. And let me just tell you, I am obsessed. I just finished it a couple days ago and I have started the second one, The Wicked King, and I just can't believe how good this book is. So if you have been apprehensive to start it right now. It is so good. I see so many mixed reviews about it being too political, about like it being boring, all these things. I do not think that's the case at all. I thought this book was so good, and basically it follows this character named Jude. And Jude is really interesting to me because her parents were murdered, and so then her and her sisters are taken into fairyland by this man, the man that murdered their parents, and they basically get taken care of by him. They like live in fairyland, they learn in fairyland, all these things. And you would think like fairyland, pretty fun, like cool, whimsical, right? It's actually very brutal, and a lot of things happen to Jude that are very traumatic. And so a whole aspect of her character is that she acts strong because she's like, if I'm not strong, then I'm just gonna be scared. Like I can't feel fear because I will just give into it and basically just prevent myself from living. So the whole aspect of her character is like she is a warrior through and through. And when we first meet her at the beginning of this book, she is trying to become a knight because that's what her kind of adopted like foster dad is he is like the king general of war or whatever, and he's very cutthroat, very like murderous. He just loves murder which is so interesting because he's still like a good dad to them despite the fact that he murdered their real parents. And like Jude kind of has a good relationship with him, like they get along pretty well, and I think that's so interesting. And also Jude's oldest sister is actually half fairy, half human, and she's the one that mostly doesn't want to be in fairyland. She wants to be in the mortal land. So there's just a lot of elements of this book that are just really intriguing and just unlike anything that I've ever read before. And I really loved, and I wasn't expecting, all of the plot twists in this book. There was one plot twist that I knew about because I'd accidentally seen a spoiler about something that happens in this book. So that's the one thing that I was expecting, and like I saw that coming. But then everything else, like this book leads up to so many different things and you think so many different events are gonna happen. And next thing you know, like everything is just blowing up in your face. Everything that you thought was gonna happen doesn't happen, and there is just so many crazy plot twists in this book. I loved it. And if you guys have been on my channel for a while, or you've seen like my bookstagram or anything like that, one of my favorite tropes is enemies to lovers. I don't know why, I just love that so much. And I feel like lately people will say like a book is enemies to lovers, and it's like they kind of don't like each other, or they're like mean to each other, or they have like a passive aggressive back and forth. But this book is like, I would murder you in your sleep kind of enemies to lovers. Like I will prevent you from getting what you want. I will literally kill you and put you in harm's way, and you're always in danger around me kind of enemies to lovers. So I loved that. Like the beginning of the book, basically Jude and Carden, who are kind of the main characters, they are the enemies to lovers, but like barely. Like they're mostly enemies, and I just loved that. Like all of their scenes together, Carden is just so brutal and so mean, and there really doesn't seem like there's any redeemable qualities about him. And Jude is just like one of the coolest characters I've ever read. Like, she becomes a spy and she's slowly like taking poisons so that way like if someone tries to poison her, she'll be fine, like she'll just survive it. And I just think she is one of the coolest characters. Like, I just love her. So yeah, so this book, honestly, I rated it 5 stars. I think it might be my first 5-star read of the new year, which is actually insane. But I am so far behind my reading goal. My goal is to read 150 books this year, and so far I think I've read 36, but I could be wrong. And I'm like 6 books behind schedule, so I gotta pick up the pace, you guys. So let's keep reading and let's read The Wicked King, because oh man, the series is so good. Update, I started reading before bed. I was like halfway through The Wicked King. I almost said The Ricked. And I had like an hour to read before bed, and I stayed up and finished this book because it was so good. Easily a 5-star read. I am so obsessed with Jude and Carden. It is not normal. Like, I am just obsessed with this trilogy. It is easily becoming one of my all-time favorite reads ever. And I just think Holly Black is a master at plot and like manipulation and plot twists and all the things. And the scheming, like all of the characters are just constantly scheming like these different plans, and you have no idea what is coming next. And so I am just absolutely obsessed with this. I finished this book last night. So I read like the prologue of The Queen of Nothing, which was actually about Carden, and I thought that was really interesting because we've only had Jude's perspective, and in this one it starts off with Carden's perspective. So I'm wondering if we're gonna get a point of view from him, but we'll see what happens. I am planning on staying up until midnight tonight because tonight the Tortured Poets Department, the new album from Taylor Swift, comes out at midnight, and I am so excited for this album. Like, I really think that it's gonna be probably my all-time favorite by her.
Ooh.
Tyler is not a fan, but I am so excited. I literally have checked the countdown on Spotify multiple times today. I've been reading about all the Easter eggs, and I really cannot wait. I really think I'm gonna love this album because it's gonna be so heartbreaking and sad, and I just love sad music, so I'm here for it. I can't wait for the lyrics. Anyway, so I'm gonna read probably a ton of this tonight while I'm waiting for the album to drop, so that's coming up later today. Okay, in the last clip that I filmed, I know with 100% certainty that I talked about staying up until midnight and listening to the Tortured Poets Department and reading, and I didn't do that. I work from 7 to 3, and I was like, you know, it's probably not going to be good for me to stay up until midnight and then listen to the album until 1 a.m. And then Taylor Swift dropped a second album on top of the Tortured Poets Department. So I would have like fallen asleep and woken up to that. Anyway, basically all this to say, I did not stay up until midnight to listen to it, but I have been listening to it on repeat since it came out, and I am obsessed. Like, my friends and I have been decoding all the lyrics and like talking about all the songs. We can't pick a favorite, especially like me, because I'm like, oh, this one's my favorite, and then I come to the next one and I'm like, this one's my favorite. Like, there's such a good mix of like pop, just like fun songs with heartbreaking lyrics, and then like sad songs. I'm obsessed with Who's Afraid of Little Old Me, and what's the other one? Oh, How Did It End? Like, actually breaks my heart. That song made me cry the first time I listened to it. Peter is so sad. I'm obsessed, you guys. Basically, I was gonna record me reading The Queen of Nothing and then my reactions to the album, and I did neither of those things. So I apologize, but please know that the Tortured Poets Department is probably my favorite Taylor Swift album. I love sad, mellow music, and I love really good lyrics, and I feel like she just went all out for this album. And my sisters and I were also talking about how each song could play into a different era, so it just feels like a culmination of Taylor Swift's music in general. So all that to say, I am just so excited, and I will be listening to that album over and over again for probably the rest of summer. Like, it's April right now, but I am pretty sure it's gonna be on repeat like for months. So all that. But I have had a pretty busy day, so now I'm gonna chill and read The Queen of Nothing. I am obsessed with this book. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna put it down until I finish it because it is just so good. Like, I was not expecting to love this trilogy as much as I do, and now I am obsessed. Like, Jude is one of my favorite characters, I think, of all time. I am just so obsessed with her, and like her and Cardan, especially in this third book, I'm like, oh. And the song Who's Afraid of Little Old Me is so Jude coded that like it's just perfect, because nobody ever thinks that she is a danger to them or that she could harm them, and like she is incredible. So let's go read. The lighting might be atrocious, but I grabbed a little lollipop as my reading snack, and I am 86 pages into The Queen of Nothing. So let's just sit and read and relax for a little bit.
You were like a taunt. Never really know just what you want. With you I don't ever feel calm. I can feel the sweat inside my palms. Play with me like cats and a string. You don't understand the pain it brings.
Okay, fun little update. I'm on page 152, and this book has literally made me squeal out loud. I don't know if I've ever done that with a book before, but I am loving this so much. Like, these books are so addicting. I can't stop reading. I'm probably going to finish it tonight, and I am so obsessed with Cardan. It is not funny. Like, Cardan and Jude, oh, you guys. You guys, I finished the trilogy yesterday, and I am actually so sad about it. I am so sad that I am not gonna read another page about Jude and Cardan. I'm so sad that I'm done with it. I'm a little bit in a reading slump. I started reading another book last night, but I am just so impressed. Like, I started this not really knowing if I would even like this series, and a part of me was like, I shouldn't have bought the whole trilogy because I don't even know if I'm gonna like it. And I am very glad actually that I bought them all, because I haven't even thought of that, but I just can't believe it. This isn't a spoiler, but I was looking at the cover of this book because I realized that Holly Black's covers, at least for this series, actually are very important plot points. And I was looking at the cover of this, and I was like, I wonder what the snake has to do with the series. Like, I wonder where the snake comes in. I wonder what's up with that, because I realized with the other two, like, it's a big deal. And the cover means something very important for the plot. So I'm reading this, and I'm like, I wonder what the snake could be. And I'm obviously not gonna say, but oh my goodness, these books were so good. Like, I honestly just want to reread them because I want to know all of the little things that I didn't notice the first time. And someone had messaged me on Bookstagram, and she's read the series I think like 2 or 3 times, and she said Holly Black is really gifted at showing instead of telling. And I would agree. Like, at first I was like, meh, I don't really know if that's true, but then especially with this one, it's like Jude is narrating, and she's narrating her feelings and her thoughts, but like some of the things just catch you off guard where you're like, wait, like she's like, I'm trying really hard not to think about that, and you're like, wait, girl, like, you love him, what are you talking about? But I am just so impressed, honestly. Like, these books were amazing. I rated every single one of them 5 stars because as soon as I started reading them, I just didn't want to put them down, and they were so addicting. And if I had more time, I probably could have read this whole series in a day because I just did not want to put them down. So if you have been iffy about The Cruel Prince, please read the trilogy because they are so good, and I would definitely recommend them. And like I said, I am obsessed. So that is all for now. I have to figure out, I mean, I did start a new book, but I don't know if it's gonna hold my attention because like I said, I am just obsessed with The Cruel Prince now. And I found out that Holly Black has another series that follows the characters in this one, like the younger characters in this one. So I am not buying books this year because I really want to read my TBR shelf, but I have put them on the list for when I need more books to read. I'm like, I'm reading those as soon as I possibly can, or maybe I'll get them from the library. I don't know yet, but all in all, thank you for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and bye!